pre-written soundtrack because, of course, now these. Well, all right, these. So these are the Mark I iLoud MTM, and I have the Mark IIs upstairs on my desk, which is also this computer, ironically. And I finally got in touch with iLoud, aka IK Multimedia, which, by the way, they're Italian. Did you know that? I did. Whatever. The point is, you saw me review on this desk previously the Arc Studio, which is the little box you put in to room correct any studio monitor. I'll link to that in the description. And these, the Mark Is, have a Arc mic port, and these are able to do room correction in one spot, and it room corrected, and that's fantastic. They're studio monitors, by the way, which is a different thing than like a regular old speaker. There's a very specific purpose you get a studio monitor for. And so the Mark Is were a single point. The Mark II of these is a 4-point. And when you get their real, so you go from that, which is like great. Covered drivers, small. You could pack these in a suitcase and you could do mixing and everything. On the go, I have the little Pro micros and they're just fantastic. But oh my God, because these are the Precision MTM. And there's a big difference. You say, oh, I got the iLoud MTM or I got the iLoud Precision MTM. You're going from, I think, $800 a pair to $2,000 a pair. And never before has money been spent so well. So let's shut that off for a second. We are in my basement, in the near field desk, where I usually just check speakers and then take them out and do something else. And I'm going to have a real hard time. And I'm reverse the stereos, yes. Because for many years, many years, I have had tons of studio monitors in this space, less than my old apartment. And it's varied. I even had some big old Genelecs that someone loaned me, like thousands, $8,000 in Genelecs. So I understand if Genelecs are indeed the holy grail of studio speakers, you could perfectly comparably say, oh, I have Genelecs at home, and it's just these. Although I will say, I'm not going to compare these directly to the giant Genelecs that I reviewed, because these have more soul to them, and that's just the Italian in them. We're going to go over their build. We're going to go over their functionality. We're going to go over their corrections and their placement and the little things on them. So in a near field environment, you can put a regular old passive speaker. You can put RB42s, mic RB42s. You can put a Swan Oasis. You can put even the Swan 3.1 if you can find the D 3.1s ever. But if you're putting a studio monitor, whether it's a Kali Studio, a Fluid Studio, a JBL, what else do I got? I got the Mackie did a couple, or the little iLouds. You're putting them there for the purpose of they're self-powered, and you're using it to assess music, movies, mixes. Most times, if you get one of those and you're like, I want it to be accurate, there's accurate as a hobby, and then there's accurate as a job. Very different things. There's only two people who listen to music. I know it's very, 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 very broad generalization. There are people who are just people who just like music, who just want to hit the next track and have Evan call just them. And it's like, oh, this is great. I enjoy this. I'm going to spend thousands of dollars on my hobby to enjoy music. And then there's the very, very smaller other part of that, which is people who have to listen so they can get fucking paid to be professional at their job, which is either mixing or mastering music or doing edits. And those people, this sort of review matters. Like, if you're just some guy and you're just like, hey, what headphone? I'm like, oh, the ZMF, the Boca Open. Yay, everyone's happy. You enjoy the headphone. But if you're like, I am editing the score mix for HBO's Game of Thrones before it was bad. Let's assume it's like season 4. And I need to make sure that what I'm listening to when I'm doing the mixing and mastering is going to be perfect. And then if everyone's TV fucks it up or surround sound or headphones fuck it up, who cares? As long as what I provide at the end of my shift is accurate, I've done my job. Pay me. I can go home and sleep. And then if you want to enjoy music, I wonder how many studio people listen to music on like the worst shit just so it feels different. Because as of this moment, I have never heard a better thing on a near-field desk ever than these. Cool. That's why they're $2,000. They were actually more when they sent it to me. They were $1,200 a piece, and that would have been $2,400. Now we're down to $2,000. So, I mean, the world's obviously healing itself. Let's look. We've got 5 1/4, 5 1/4, and one of the largest soft dome tweeters I've ever seen. I think it's 1.5 inches in a very slight waveguide. And the build of this is armored. It's very similar to I have the Kali sub over there, the SW12 Mark II, which has the carry handles, and it says it can fit in the back of a car, because that is designed to be thrown in a field and rain hits it and everything else. And these kind of have that same feel, like there's no cover. They're not even attempting to protect the driver, because you know what? If you put anything in front of these, it'll take away from the absolute metaphysical perfection that is them. They have nice exposed screws, although they're hex, so you could, if you need to do repairs, because these are working man speakers. These are a speaker you invest $2,000 in and you get to write that off. That's a good way to, if you can write off stereo equipment like this, you're either a YouTube reviewer or this is part of your job. Someone's paying you to edit, mix, master, and assess music. We're going to shuffle. We're going to get away from free run. Fern, hold on. The biggest problem with having a good studio monitor, and this is not just these, more these than others, but most of the time, is if you have them set up correctly, and I have these set up obsessively correctly, you're going to find music that you don't like. Music that you've had forever. Music that you've listened to, and you're just like, you know what? Why is La Bionda, will she or won't she from the best of soundtrack? So it's a little bit of a hot mix. It's a little hot mix. Now I am DACing this with a VMV D1SE, which is SMSL's higher end brand. So I'm balanced out into that. It's a good DAC. It's not a topping A900, but it's a good DAC. And it's sitting there and it's doing its thing. You would obviously have this set up on either a mixing console or an interface. And I would probably recommend getting a higher end interface. Once you start getting up in this sort of quality level, you want to spend $400 or $500 just to get the DAC good. It's like $1,000 DAC just on its own. And no, there is no such thing as an audiophile DAC versus a mixing DAC. Although I guess one could argue that R2R might soften us. I don't know. Answer me in the comments. Is there a DAC limitation like you're expected to get? Does it have to be like super linear and boring? Because honestly, you don't want any coloration in anything. And this could actually, this has a setting, I think, to color things. Yep, sound color. Is that set to anything? Hang on, let me just double check that. Oh, I could set it to tube. That would be cool. Ugh. So, let me give you the reason not to buy something like this. You're just some dude, and you got like $2,000 to spend. You love, oh my God, Zeos is self-powered, and you're saying it's the best thing you've ever heard near field. Well, here's the crux of it. When you put these speakers down, you have to correct them. You just have to room correct them. And even if my room is pretty, it's got a little bit of stuff on the wall there, and it's padded ceiling, and it's got carpet on the floor behind me. The room is affecting it, and you're getting these real close. These are close to me. All right, they're not far away. And the idea is to eliminate anything but that. It's basically, we're trying to wear headphones, but as speakers. And when you put these speakers down in a position, and I have them upon cork yoga blocks, which are very heavy, dense cork. And then I've got the little isolation feet that these came with underneath them. I think those are sold separately. And the microphone, I have the microphone is over there, the ARC microphone that each one comes with. There's also a remote control for the thing that doesn't come with. But the point is, once you've put these down and you turn them on and you listen, I need you to do, here's the procedure. Set them to flat on the back. We're going to look at the back. You'll jump to the timestamp if you want to see the back. You put them down and you just start playing music. whatever, and you start moving them, and you start moving them, and you start moving them. You move them angled, you move them out, you move them back, closer, farther away. I had bigger gaps here, so I had this on the outside, this on the inside. I just kept moving them until I'm like, wow, that sounds almost perfect. Then you need to never fucking move them again, because you're about to do room correction. Now, the room correction is built into these, same as it is on those, where you can plug the mic directly in, hit a button on the back, and then it does whoop, 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 4 points. However, the software that comes with the big boys here lets you do full either 7 or 21 point corrections for a spot. Now, I'll link you to a video on my second channel where I took the IK Arc Studio and I did the 21-point single chair distant correction for my Klipsch Forte 4s, which are not studio monitors. That's the thing. When you have a not studio monitor and you run it through software like either Arc X or Arc 4, which is here, it's looking for the studio, but it's not here anymore. It went into my sunroom. Go check out the second channel for the video that's an hour long of me doing that shit in my sunroom, because I turned Klipsch Forte 4s, which are not studio like they're very warm, they're very 70s, they've got a very big rolled off sound. Well, take that and now clean it up with corrections, and they're an entirely different animal. Like, I don't even know what I'm listening to in that room anymore. So now imagine if the hardware was designed in a way so that this is trying to be the most accurate it can be already, and then you're stacking corrections on top of that. And that's when it just pulls you, like here, Pearl Jam, sometimes. Just hit play from the No Code album. There's a bzzz in the background, and I'm like, it's definitely in the music. I hear it when I pause it. What is that? Did they fuck up? Who fucked this up? Someone's going to get an angry letter. What year is this from? 1996. I have to get a banana and a microwave, but I got to send a fucking text message back to 1996 because somebody fucked this up, because I could hear the zzz in the background. You know where I wouldn't hear that? Most other speakers. Because now we've got like supercar levels of like hardware mixed with just some of the best room correction for near field. It doesn't do, someone will argue in the comments, like they always do, oh, Zeals, it doesn't do time domain, but just get the speaker and the room and everything lined up. When I did this sound correction, you have to plug both of these speakers into a computer via USB. So you need to have a bunch of extra USB ports. You got to plug them in. It'll pick up the speakers, and then you could do the 7-point or 21-point. I think I did the 7-point here. There's a 21 up in the room. And I've even corrected these with just the 4-point, and that works damn good on its own. So either way you're looking at it, you're either doing no correction, which makes you dumb. Don't be dumb, Sparky. The only time I wouldn't correct these is if I was temporarily setting them up on like a kitchen table just to try them. Once they're in a spot and you're pretty happy with the way they are, you're gonna stick the microphone in the back of it, and you're gonna do the 4-point that's built in, or you're going to get the software and plug it into a laptop, and you're going to do the 7-point, and then it will upload, by the way, the corrections. The reason that this is blank and not showing anything right now is because I disconnected those USBs because I had to unplug like half the things on my desk because the computer is all the way over there, and I'm using like a 20-foot extension, and I only have a little 4-port here. So I can't show you the corrections, but there are corrections, and they are set up and adjusted just like the Arc Studio video on the second channel, and then you upload them to the speaker, and then you can just unplug it. And as long as these speakers don't move, your life is perfect. Well, your sound is perfect. So now I sit here, and I haven't done sound demos. One of the things when you're a patron of mine for $7 a month, you get to see reviews early, participate in yard sales, and get to the Lost of Sound demos. Now, every time I do a sound demo, I put the headphones either on the microphones or the microphones in front of the speakers, which I'm going to have to do a sound demo for these, which is going to be interesting because I might master the sound demo with these speakers, which has never happened. I've never trusted speakers, even great ones, enough that I did it instead of the headphones. Usually it's Normie NDH20s, and it's just like I record with those and I play back with those, and that's where I trust it. I think... So this is Madoka Magica. Let's crank the volume on that. Like, I usually listen to music and I'm like, I like this song or I hate this song, or this song is recorded well or the song recorded bad. I could actually give a grade now from like 0 to 100 on how well a song is recorded. This is Claude Debussy, La Fille aux Cheveux d'Ilin. This is track 10 from the Pula Modoka Magica special CD. Just this. I look how I just know his levels were fucking perfect. There's a joy to hearing music on these that I don't get from regular speakers, where it's like, oh man, this sounds great. Swans, because other speakers, normal speaker, JBL's over there, boot cards over there. Even to an extent, you've got little Swan OS 10s. We've got the Cabas. Those are allowed to do things to your music. They're allowed to make the bass more impactful or the mid-range warmer and then cut off the high so it isn't shrill. These are not allowed. These are unallowed to fuck with your music. Everything that goes in has to come out. There's a very specific line I talk about where there's a line and everything on this side of the line is the artist waking up in his trailer, snorting some coke, fucking banging his girl and then banging his other girl and then getting in his car and drunkenly driving to the studio and then he screams into a microphone and then the dude is fucking mixing and mastering and he's trying to get shit correct and then all of a sudden it's all done and boom, it's uploaded to streaming services or put onto CD and then it's no longer them. Once it's out of the producer creator's hands, it's us. This is all us. We get to decide if we want to listen to it with a wampin subwoofer or no subwoofer, in our car, or on a shitty Bluetooth speaker. Everything past that line is us. And this sort of creeps into the other side. This is letting you experience as close as you can, not even the artist's intention. Again, he was doing drugs the morning of. But the guy who's panic mixing and mastering and his skill. These, you will learn producer names more than you'll know your artist names anymore. Now, AC/DC, I love AC/DC. I love AC/DC for AC/DC's music. But I kind of hate the people who mixed and mastered it. And this is the Japanese release of Back in Black. Because it's so loud and I could hear the compression on everything. Like, don't think you're going to get these speakers and they're going to be so great that everything is going to sound great. There are other speakers that can help transition you into that sort of plane of existence. First of all, that is way too loud, which is the thing about these is they get loud. These little guys will actually clip indicator if you clip. I'm pretty sure this will as well. Good luck. But there's like a little cymbal crash, it's a little harsh, and it's like, There's a little in there that I'm just like, I don't want to AC. So what this tells me is, again, got to go back in time to 1988 and be like, hey guys, can we just trim it? Or find a different blow up your video? Epic score, which I can play. That's another thing. Usually I have the subwoofer on because this DAC has, RCA outputs and XLR outputs, and I go up with the RCA outputs and get the subwoofer to play. I have no urge to put a subwoofer on with these. Because A, that would ruin the synergy. That's right, I said the fucking word synergy. I've got that wallpaper on and I know the word synergy. But it's like the impactfulness and speed and, well, fucking precision, which is their name. So let me go back to the webpage. So by the way, they're not on Amazon, these guys. The other two are on Amazon. Actually, the other one. There's apparently a Mark 1 of their 5-inch. So this Mark 1 is $450 each, so that's going to be $900 for a pair. Then there's the new Mark 2 of that, which is $800 each, so $1,600 a pair. And then if we go to actual iLoud, which I should have an affiliate link for now, by the way, never hurts, you can grab the Mark 5, the 5 Mark 2 for $800. The 6 Mark II, so this is only a 5 1/4. You can get a single with a 6 for $900, or these, which are the biggest ones, for $1,000 each with the microphone. There it is, $2,000 for the pair. And you could even get the iLoud Precision Remote Control, which lets you pick and choose different profiles. Honestly, you should probably go watch my original review of the Mark IIs, because these share the same weird software quirks as those, but I'm less interested about it in this go around because I was never going to make these sound like a white studio monitor from the 80s, and you know which one that is, the Yamaha NS10s. I was never going to go around and modify them to be different than what they are. If I'm going to use these, I'm using them to be specifically the best they can fucking be. It's like a Tesla. If a Tesla could download a profile of a ratted out 97 Honda Civic and then emulate that by spinning just the front wheels at 89 horsepower. But then there's it could emulate with the electric motors, having a bad slipping fucking differential between the two. And you could have a manual shifter that gets stuck and does, because it could all be faked. The Tesla on its own, like a fucking plaid Tesla, is probably the fastest car that ever existed. We could argue in the comments, whatever. So this is the plaid Tesla. Why would you assign it? Well, can you make it like the P85 non-performance Tesla, where it only dual motor? And you could do that. You can gimp these to be worse. And worse could be more enjoyable. That's another thing. Worse can be more enjoyable. You can go in there and adjust the curves and everything. Adjust the curves. But I'm here for the full show. I want it all. I don't want nothing held back. And if my songs suck, I want to fucking know it. All right. This is House of the Dragon, by the way, which is, first season was a little rough, but I guess HBO wasn't willing to throw as much money as they did with Game of Thrones after that ending. And I know I'm looking at you, Dumb and Dumber, but then House of the Dragon season 2 is just so good that it's oh yeah, they're throwing Game of Thrones money at it again. There's I know this is real. I know this is 100% right. Not just real, right. I know that this is 100% without flaw. I don't know, will that give me... This is the Tales from the Crypt Christmas album, by the way, in case you're wondering.
When you embalmed my family, it so confused and puzzled me.
He's a little bit forward right there. Crypt Keeper's a little bit forward right there. I find myself with these speakers more than anything looking at them. Usually they sort of sit there and you just listen to the music in front of you. But if I'm putting on Star Wars The Imperial Attack by the great John Williams and I hear something, I'll look. And I'll look at it. Tell me, explain the music to me, sir. Let's turn one of these around because they're identical. So we need to, these are very, very highly calibrated weights that keep the speakers from vibrating too much. I think they're the Two Love Roo series from, I don't know, I can't make up a fake thing. I don't want to blow anything up. So I'm going to power this one off. Unplug power. I do have the USB still plugged in, but it's not plugged into the thing, and then we're going to plug our XLR. So I'm going to lift this up, and it should leave. Please leave the little feet so they don't have to move because they were a pain in the dick. Hold on. I'm trying to undick. You know what? Let's move this. And let's turn on these lights too, which is there. Cool. Cool. There's screw terminals top and bottom because they do sell brackets. The brackets for this, which it is designed so you can put it straight down on the face. It is completely flush, but don't go sliding it around because it's completely flush, but it's not metal guarded. So there you go. Here are the little feet, by the way. The little isolated feet, look, they float and jiggle and jangle. That's so cool. And here's the cork block, and it barely fits on the cork block with these little feet. So there we go. Ignore the mess. Back of the speaker. Port, which is a straight through port. I thought it would be curved in there, but it's not. It's a bit warm in here from the amplification. But we have got 5 digital buttons. You can set the low frequency extension. So you have 80 hertz cutoff for LFE. That would basically be how, THX expects just subwoofer. There's my rhythmic sub for my big home theater, by the way. They expect that to do 80 hertz and below, and everything else shouldn't do 80 hertz. Most people don't set it like that because they want a little more meat out of their speakers. But you can set this to cut off at LFE of 80 and LFE of 50. So 50 is more like what this can do on its own. And then there's full range, which will let it go down as far as it can go. I think I have mine set to full. and I still haven't had any problems with clipping. Then you have your low frequency plus or minus, your high frequency plus or minus, and it doesn't give you a direct thing. I think it's 2 decibels. One of these might be 2 decibels, one might be 4 decibels down. And then you have your calibration preset, and then your auto standby. Auto standby is obviously auto standby. The calibration and preset is desk, flat, or cal. On a desk, it knows that there's going to be a wall behind it, and it does some stuff to guess the correction. That's like the least amount of correction is desk. Flat is just fuck it. I'm assuming I'm in an anechoic chamber. I'm going to go flat. And cal is either the calibration you've loaded into it via USB, or the cal will let you plug in the ARC mic here, which the ARC mic does take just an XLR, and do your 4 points internally, and then you're done, or you do the thing with the USB. So you get a level set, which we are locked in at 0, because I don't need anything else. We do have control in and out. This is not a 12-volt trigger. This is for the remote control, and there is an in and out, so you would have to plug the remote into one, and then out of one and into the other, so that when you hit the button, it knows, both of these know what to do. That's, again, no computer would need to be involved to have it switch internally to do that. And here's your input, which is a combo jack of TRRS and 3-pin XLR. And you ignore that because it's for the microphone. And here's your power switch and your power input. And it is 90 to 240 volt, 2.5 amps. It's actually a pretty powerful thing going on in here. But you can see the finish on the unit is just like, who gives a crap? I feel like I almost want to 3D print like 2 covers that go on this just to keep the dust off of it. But I live alone, so it doesn't really matter. But if I had you could just 3D print like this beautiful shape that puts magnets directly over the thing, like a bone that just, but then I would touch it. Don't touch it. So yeah, here, and it's got the plugs in the bottom. They do sell those brackets for like $240 a pair. But yeah, look at this beast. Oh, and you have the LED light on the bottom, which when it goes into standby, those will slowly pulse. And when it detects signal, it comes on rather quickly, actually, quicker than a lot of the other ones. And you get sound within usually a second or 2. But yeah, beast mode. Let me plug this back in, and we'll give some wrap-up thoughts. So the first wrap-up thought is, oh, fuck, I moved it. But luckily that didn't move, and I have them pretty much the same spot. Because millimeters could matter here. Like millimeters of change. If this is 2 millimeters closer to me than it was before I started this, then the correction I did is going to be off by 2 millimeters worth of sound, like, time and space. I think we're good. I put on Fink Warm Shadow, and that sounds like this. And I have a hotkey to switch foobar to mono, so that if I could do that, and then... Come on, switch to mono. I know you switched to mono, unless I didn't enable that on this. There it goes. And when you switch to mono, if you're perfectly centered physically between the speakers, you should hear right in the middle. Oh, maybe it does have to go back a little bit, just a touch. Yeah, I think that was it. Then Alt N for not mono. I think if you aren't a professional, you'd still enjoy these speakers, especially if you're going to play around with the software. And you could change the shape to sound like an old Klipsch speaker or an old Sansui speaker, anything you want. These have the capability to twist their sound around via software to anything you really want. But the main purpose of them, the main very Italian purpose of them, is to assess music as hard as possible. This is the kind of stuff that, like, in the headphone world, it's very strange. You don't hear audiophiles ever going out and grabbing the quote-unquote flat studio monitors. Like, how many are there? Number one, they're not that expensive. Probably the Neumanns are the most expensive ones, are the ones I got. They're like $400, $500 a pair. But you don't see them show up anywhere. Out in the audiophile space of headphones, people are striving for this, like, high detail, BIS 1266. And it's like... But for speakers, it's there you go. A competent studio monitor. Go to Atom Audio. Get some higher end things and just slam a Neumann speakers or Genelecs on your desk and you should be good to go. But most audiophiles avoid this level of clarity. And I think the reason for that is they don't actually want the truth. They want to be lied to. They want to think their music is better than it is. And this will not fucking lie to you unless you ask it to. But next track. And that wee 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 from Orbital's Belfast, which I should have put a Belfast wallpaper on it. Belfast. It's just... I'm being pummeled by sound, by the way. And that's just me and the volume control, just being a little bit too overzealous. Because when you play it at the right volume, this is perfect. I could tell it's a little bit too compressed. The sound was a little bit too compressed in the Durarara recording.
What's it like to be back?
You see things in life and you...
Jesus, he's not centered. He's slightly left focused. And I have them up on the block so that my ear level is like right around here. They could have probably gone on another inch. But it's like I set them there and I'm like, all right, let me do the corrections. I can always lower my chair. Where it was oh, there we go. I've hit the bottom. I'm a 1/4 inch lower. Is it going to make it better? Yeah. If you don't know if you want good speakers, you buy these. And then once you have good speakers and you've room corrected them and everything's accurate and you trust the space and the settings, listen to your music. There is a good chance the music you like sucks. Sorry. Just sorry. There should literally be a little piece of paper. Oh, but if music doesn't sound good, please open this card. And you break the seal. Turns out your music sucks. Well, I mean, I'm not going to knock on System of a Down, but yeah, I could actually listen and be like, man, they fucking over-recorded the shit out of this. That part sounds good. The end of Aerials, whatever the hell that is, we're at 4.5 minutes in. I don't think anyone's ever heard the full extended Aerials to listen to the... Sounds like R2 RRR the movie.
You had plenty money.
The Roger Rabbit OST. Now that's remarkably well recorded. Same as the Ren and Stimpy OST, actually, which is kind of... Oh, where's my control F? Ren, Stimp. Not the Christmas one. The actual You Idiot.
Watch out, man, here come them fire dogs.
Yeah, remarkably well recorded. So, if you trust your library, and you're just a guy who wants good speakers, fuck yeah, why not these, or those, or the other little precision ones, which I haven't heard, the 5 or the 6. These are, that's, who buys these? You either are working and getting paid and writing these off, or you trust your music's not going to suck. And I hate to tell you this, but most people don't understand if the music sucks or not. You can buy these. But if you buy them and you don't like them, at least you can go into the software and change them enough that you probably love them. I kind of wonder how much I could twist this around. Like, granted, the MTM design means it's going to be kind of hard to make it sound like a simple two-way. But I wonder if I close my eyes far enough away and got a little drunk, if I could make them sound just like RB42s, or just like Swan Oasis, or just like Buchart speakers. Because it technically should be possible. Because that's how capable they are. Anyway, these linked in the description. I will link to the ones that are on Amazon in case you just want to buy a quick set from Amazon. The image, the space we're flying, because this is probably the most accurate imaging also. Like, I've got the DAC testing arena over there with the Monacoustics, and that really exaggerates things, because that's what it does. I need to hear the difference in DACs. I don't even know if I would hear the difference in DACs where these are currently set up, because everything's gonna come out from the music more than from that piece of hardware. Because they are definitely going from analog back to digital for all the corrections, and then back to analog, so you're losing... You're technically losing quality, but oh fuck. If I could tell, I can't tell. Requiem for a Dream OST. There's just enough buzz that it's like, So yeah, Patreon, subscribe, support this channel. If you'd like to see reviews early, participate in yard sales, and get to those sound demos, which I'll probably be mastering on these speakers from now on, check out the link in the description. Also, if you want to get into the higher Patreon tier, you get to ask me questions directly in a chat with a bunch of other people, 120 other people. And once you're in that chat with me, and you've asked all the questions, you can go to the swap meet forever, for life, and buy, sell, and trade gear that you no longer need. And, I feel like if people buy these, they're going to be selling a lot of speakers. Are they the most fun speakers? Hell no. But they're honest. They're the most honest speakers. Okay, Chappie OST, calm the fuck down. That is rudest bad boy in Joburg. It wasn't even that loud. It's just somebody wanted to hurt somebody with that soundtrack. Jesus Christ. I can't end this review on that.
I know.
Father John Misty, much better. Moving on. See you all in the next one. Down the wallpaper in the wallpaper horde. Yes. I almost forgot to put her back up. What am I doing? It's going to throw the balance of sound completely off. We're gonna. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's fixed.